Oh, what a quite glittering assemblage you have here, King Pug. Royalty, nobility, the gentry, and... oh, how quaint. Even the rabble. I really felt quite distressed without receiving an invitation.
You weren't wanted.
Oh, what? Not wanted? Well, what an awkward situation. I was hoping it was due to some oversight, but in that event, I must be on my way.
You're not offended, Your Excellency?
Offended? Me offended? Why, of course not. And to show how not offended I am, I will bestow a gift on the child. Listen well, all of you. The princess will grow in grace and beauty, beloved by all who knows her. But before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she will prick her little paw on a spindle of a spinning wheel and die. But no, I'm not offended. What does offend me, though, is the fat positive community claiming that women like Marilyn Monroe was voluptuous, aka fat, a size 16, and loved it. I'm about to kill all your dreams. Have a seat, children, adults, fat positive, warriors. And let me tell you a little story about a woman named Marilyn Monroe.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
This video is sponsored by me and my lifetime support group, where you get a 12-week gym program, a at-home workout program, and group Zoom boot camps almost every Saturday, where my clients look at me like this as I constantly say, we're almost done, guys. I promise. Along with staying in a very active Facebook support group full of nerds with a tad bit of Disney villain for life. Link is below. Please follow directions to make sure you get added to the group. Sometimes you guys send emails to my YouTube email, so make sure to follow the directions so you contact the correct email. Originally born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1st, 1926, she was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Her mother was Gladys Pearl Baker. The identity of Monroe's father is unknown. Monroe's mother, Gladys, was mentally and financially unprepared for a child, although Monroe's early childhood was surprisingly happy and stable. Eventually, Gladys placed her daughter with Christian foster parents Albert and Ida Bolander, and from there, Monroe found herself in and out of foster homes and orphanages for the majority of her childhood. To break away from the inconsistency of finding a loving home, Monroe married 21-year-old neighbor James Daughtry after her 16th birthday. She then dropped out of high school and became a good old housewife. Eventually, she discovered how incompatible her and James were, and even described her time being married to James as dying of boredom. Despite how bored she was, she continued the relationship. In April 1944, Daughtry was shipped out to the Pacific. Monroe picked up a job at the Radio Plane Company, where she met a photographer named David Conover. Her husband, James, didn't want her to be a model, but despite his low opinion, she signed with Blue Book Model Agency in August 1945. In September 1946, she divorced Daughtry. You go, girl. As a model, Monroe occasionally used the name Jean Norman. To make herself more employable, she would straighten her curly hair and dye it blonde. Because she wasn't as thin as traditional models, most of her bookings were pinup, featured mostly on advertisements and men's magazines. By early 1946, Monroe appeared on 33 magazine covers and publications. The agency owner described Monroe as one of the most ambitious and hardworking models. Eventually, Monroe wanted to break into acting, but up until that point, she didn't have any acting roles. Eager to learn, she dedicated her days to acting, singing, and dancing classes, spent time at the studio observing actors to help promote herself. The studio ended up enrolling her in the Actors Laboratory Theater. Despite her excitement, her teachers described her as too shy and insecure to have a future in acting. So Fox did not renew Monroe's contract in August 1947. After this, Monroe struggled. She worked hard and was very determined, but she struggled a lot. She found herself grabbing a few roles in plays and low-budget films like Glamour Preferred at the Bliss Hayden Theater, but it ended after only a few performances. So Miss Monroe decided to use her body to her advantage. She frequently visited producers' offices, befriended gossip columnists such as Sydney Skolowski, and entertained influential male guests at studio functions. She also became good friends, of Fox executive Joseph M. Schenck? Anyway, it all paid off because he persuaded his friend Harry Cohn, the head executive of Columbia Pictures, to sign her in March 1948. Now you would think that this was her big break. Her only film at the studio was the low-budget musical Ladies of the Chorus in 1948, where she had her first starring role as a chorus girl who was courted by a very wealthy man.
Well, my heart is filled with nothing but affection. Lock me in your arms forever.
The film was released soon after and did not perform very well. Marilyn's contract was not renewed. John Hyde, the vice president of the William Morris Agency, became infatuated by Monroe, helped her get a part in a film called Love Happy.
Is there anything I can do for you? What a ridiculous statement.
Mr. Grunion, I want you to help me.
Paid for her plastic surgery and then ended up proposing marriage. Oh, hold on. Pull that picture up again. He's a short king, and we love short kings, especially in Disney. But unfortunately, Monroe didn't, and she refused his marriage proposal. She continued her modeling and eventually did a nude calendar shoot where she later explained that she did it because she needed the money. Oh, you thought I was going to show you the calendar picture? YouTube! You're dirty. Biographers Spoto and Banner have stated that she was not pressured, although according to Banner, she was initially hesitant due to her aspirations of movie stardom, and regarded the shoot as simply another work assignment, which is why she used the name Mona Monroe, just in case her acting career took off. And eventually Monroe's career did take off in the beginning of the 1950s, and she would go to star in There's No Business Like Show Business, Clash by Night, Don't Bother to Knock, Gentleman Prefers Blondes, Some Like It Hot, and many more. Gracing the covers of so many different magazines and rubbing elbows with the high-profile people, commercials, billboards, and mixing a lot of Hollywood scandals, she was definitely an it girl of the 1950s. Unfortunately, in early August 1962, Monroe's housekeeper awoke at 3 a.m. She had a sick feeling that something was wrong. She went to check on Monroe, but the door was locked, lights turned on, and no response.
I went around to the front of the house. Turning the curtains back, I saw Marilyn lying on the bed, nude, and I was just alarmed.
Monroe's doctor, who was called, broke through the bedroom window and found Monroe dead in her bed.
And I went into the bedroom and made sure she was dead. There was some rigor mortis, yes, but it wasn't extreme yet. I suspected that she'd been dead at least a few hours.
Empty medicine bottles were found next to her bed. Doctors stated that she had been prone to severe fears and frequent depressions, with abrupt and unpredictable mood changes, and had overdosed several times in the past, possibly intentionally.
As the autopsy report showed, traces of drugs were found in Marilyn's system that her doctors claimed they had not prescribed.
Due to these facts and the lack of any indication of foul play, and her death was ruled intentional. We cannot say the actual word, YouTube will demonetize the whole video. There are many different theories circled around Marilyn Monroe's death, the main one being a certain president. But nonetheless, records say it was intentional. Not only through the years did Marilyn Monroe influence fashion, but she inspired many women to be proud, be flirty, work hard, and most of all be confident in your body. And because she was a curvier woman of her time, many people in the body positive and most importantly the fat positive realm love to use Monroe as their poster child to help them embrace their obesity because she, according to them, was a size 16. Tess Holliday, the queen of the fat positive movement, has Marilyn tattooed on her body. I often see this picture pop up on a lot of fat positive pages, along with numerous other memes with words on Monroe's picture of quotes she never said. It's quite sad that some of these people don't do at least a minuscule amount of research before they go parading through the streets talking about how Marilyn was obese and proud, so we are too. Because if they did, then they would know. She was definitely not thick, at least to the fat positive high standards of thickness. She enjoyed being trim. She dieted hard, actually restricted quite a bit of food, and she was rather quite slim. She just had a wide set of hips and a very tiny waist. And quite frankly, she was not a size 16, not even close at her heaviest. But like I said, many people, even celebrities, love to use Marilyn Monroe as their, look, She was bigger, like me. Therefore, I feel great about myself. Roseanne, oh God, that dreadful woman. Quoted saying, "I'm more sexy than Pamela Lee or whoever else they've got out or in Hollywood these days. Marilyn Monroe was a size 16. That says it all." I've always thought Marilyn Monroe looked fabulous, but I'd kill myself if I was that fat. I went to see her clothes in the exhibition, and I wanted to take a tape measure and measure what her hips were. She was very big. Imagine opening your mouth and calling this fat. Tragic. So how big was Marilyn Monroe? Well, she wasn't actually big at all. And there's actual documents that you can look up that I will show you right here that shows the size that she would usually fall into. Well, available documentation verifies Marilyn's height and weight at several different times during her life through different modeling agencies. August 2nd, 1945, 5'6", 120 pounds. 36, 24, 34, and size 12. February 8th, 1954, 5'5½", 118 pounds. August 5th, 1962, 5'5¼ and 117 pounds. During her marriage to Arthur Miller, she gained about 20 pounds, bringing her weight to about 140 and a size 10 to today's standards. And she didn't want her body at that size. When people shared these pictures saying Marilyn Monroe is so confident and loved being big, she didn't. Not that that's big, but that wasn't her ideal size. Her weight fluctuated during certain times, and there was also pregnancy rumors, so of course a woman will put on weight during that time of her life. She's carrying a wretched child. It's like if I died and people found my pictures of when I was bigger and said, wow, she was so confident. She loved being this size. Yeah. No. At that size, Marilyn herself knew the importance of physical exercise and lost the extra pound. After her divorce from Miller, it was reported that she started to work for Something Got to Give, looking fitter than she had in years. She owned her own weight set, lifted weights, and she worked out in a time where they didn't know the importance of working out. Along with believing in staying tight, fit, and trim, she believed in watching what she ate. The complete opposite of what the fat acceptance community thinks. Oh my. Another very awkward situation. Marilyn ate plenty of meat and vegetables and was fond of raw eggs. Her morning breakfast routine consisted of a glass of warm milk with 2 raw eggs beaten into it. Her daily diet was very meat focused. Lunch and dinner usually involved some type of animal protein with a side of vegetables. Her favorite was grilled steak. My dinners at home are startlingly simple. Every night I stop at the market near my hotel and pick up a steak, lamb chops, or liver, which I broil in the electric oven in my room. I usually eat 4 or 5 raw carrots with my meat, and that is all. Marilyn admitted that her protein-rich diet is what kept her in shape, especially because she occasionally treated herself to an ice cream sundae after attending evening drama classes. I'm sure I couldn't allow myself this indulgence were it not that my normal diet wasn't composed of almost totally of protein. Many celebrities, influencers, fat activists love to exaggerate Marilyn Monroe's size. They say, almost as facts, that she was a size 16. Unfortunately to them, she wasn't even close to that magic number that they keep spitting out. According to documents, which is a little hard to pinpoint, that's why there is a range, and her range would be more close to 4 to 8. Yes, Marilyn Monroe was a very beautiful woman who had a very different shape and mindset from many of the women in her time. But she was not obese, nor did she believe in overindulging all the time. Did she believe in staying fit, trim, and healthy? Yes, yes, and yes. Well, it's been fun crashing your little party, but I must go now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed me. And don't forget to leave a comment, who do you think will show up next time for Disney Month? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So happy that's over. I hate parties. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache.
You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood